How did the wolf become Grug's best friend? Have you ever looked at a dog and thought, what kind of magic happened here? Well, grab your club and let's dive into this prehistoric mystery. Picture ancient humans just like Grug trying to survive in a world full of giant saber-toothed everything. Life was not easy in the Stone Age. You wake up, maybe trip over a rock or worse, get eaten by something that has 5 times the teeth you do. And what's for breakfast? More rocks, good times. But here's the kicker. While Grug was out hunting, someone else was doing the scavenging wolves. Yep, those fluffy fiends were lurking around caveman camps, not just flexing their fangs but looking for a free meal. While Grug was busy trying not to be a snack, wolves naturally decided, hey, those humans are leaving behind a smorgasbord of scraps. So what did the friendly, less aggressive wolves do? They hung around. And this is where everything starts to change. The more they scrounged, the more food they got. Grug might have tossed out a not-so-great mammoth leg, but for those wolves, it was a gourmet buffet. And here's the real revelation. Over thousands of years, humans were, without even trying, training these wolves to be less like wild beasts and more like loyal companions. Kind of like how Grug trained his buddy Bob to carry his club after a tough day. Hey Bob, you're looking a little scrappy. Here, have some leftover mammoth. But here's the crazy part. Some modern pet owners might say they domesticated their dogs, but really, it was the other way around. Those nice wolves were training people. Suddenly, they became less like wild animals and more like, well, dorky family members with tails. But let's not forget about the repercussions of this whole setup. In those early days, it wasn't all belly rubs and puppy eyes. Like having an annoying roommate, sometimes wolves came too close for comfort, sniffing around when Grug was having dinner. Got a cooked hare? Well, that hare soon turned into wolf dinner if Grug wasn't careful. And the gross details. It's not like ancient humans were known for their sanitation practices. Picture this. Grug throws out the remains of a feast and now a pack of wolves is like, score. Those relaxed wolves, having feasted on all that trash, became a little more germy than anyone liked to admit. Who knew, but that garbage diet could have led to some pretty wild doggy breath. And guess what? These early humans didn't have the luxury of veterinarians. If a wolf got sick, it was like taking your berserk roommate to the couch. Sorry, buddy, I can't help you cough up that bison bone. Let's just hope it works itself out. Oh, and it gets worse. The friendship led to all sorts of behavioral changes. Ever notice how dogs seem to want food constantly? That might be thanks to the ancient wolf who thought, if I keep giving this Grug the puppy eyes, he's bound to drop a giant steak. It doesn't take a PhD to realize that these wolves were mastering the art of manipulation long before reality TV. Fast forward to different cultures. Do you think everyone had the same relationship with wolves? Nope. In some places, they viewed wild wolves with fear. They saw them as pack hunters lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity, and many tried to scare them away. But in others, friendly local wolves became part of the family. Grug and his pals would say, sure, that wolf looks a bit wild, but he's cool. Let's share some mammoth and see what happens. Oh, and then there were archaeological digs. Archaeologists have sifted through layers of dirt, finding bone fragments and wolf remains scattered around human settlements. They've pieced together this heartwarming tale of cooperation. And trust me, the dating pool looks a bit limited when you find dog bones mingling with your ancestors' lunch leftovers. Hey, Bob, guess what? We were not only keeping wolves around, we were giving them our trash and calling it love. Next time you step in a puddle of that adorable, slobbering furball's drool or see a dog chasing its tail, just remember Grug didn't have a glamorous life. He was rolling in flea-infested fur while trying to keep his dinner out of a hungry wolf's mouth. So, how did the wolf become Grug's best friend? By as chance would have it, their survival instincts brought them closer together. They both leached off each other, one hoping to steal a meal and the other hoping to avoid becoming a snack. Isn't it funny how that simple act of sharing scraps spurred an entire species evolution? From trash-eating wolves to our beloved fluffy companions, It's a wild ride of friendship that started off incredibly unglamorous. So the next time you scratch a dog's belly or shake your head at that one friend who seems to attract all the stray animals, remember where it all began. Grug forgot lunch, but somehow those wolves didn't forget how to charm human hearts. Stick around because there's plenty more of Grug's wild adventures waiting for you. We're just getting started unraveling the wacky world of our ancient ancestors. See you soon and keep an eye on your leftovers. But here's the fun part. The wolf-human alliance didn't just stop with leftover mammoth legs. No, no. As Grug and his pals got used to their shaggy companions, those wolves started to earn their keep. You see, the Stone Age wasn't just a time of lounging around and chucking rocks. Danger was lurking all around. Imagine a pack of saber-toothed cats eyeing your campfire, thinking, "What's on the menu tonight?" Enter the wolves. These clever canines had their own special skill set. They were natural hunters, and Grug quickly discovered that having a few four-legged pals on his team was like upgrading from a stone axe to a fancy new metal one. Wolves had the instincts to patrol the perimeters of Grug's camp, barking away any potential threat that dared approach. "Hey, Grug, look out, something's coming." Suddenly, dinner became a lot less about survival of the fittest and more about survival of the friendliest. And speaking of survival, let's talk about the real MVPs of ancient times, those not-so-friendly animals. Life back then was a full-time gig dodging threats. Walking around without a horde of protective wolves was like trying to eat soup with a fork, messy and probably dangerous. If you stubbed your toe on a rock, you might as well have sent out an invitation to the nearest predator. "Come on over for a feast." But when Grug had wolves on his side, the saber-tooths thought twice. Looks like that camp has security. But wait, it gets better. Grug and his friends soon observed another unexpected benefit of their friendship with wolves. While they munched on their leftover scraps, they also became quite the gourmet feast for doggy noses. Just think about it. Those wolves were foraging around human camps full of the most enticing smells, herbs, spices, and barbecue smoke wafting through the air. And who can forget the delightful aromas of ancient dumpster diving? Suddenly, emptying the trash became a delicious opportunity for wolves to sniff out tasty traces of grilled on a stick mammoth. And here's the dark twist. When human settlements started to grow, so did the wolf parties. It turned into wild campouts where wolves and humans shared tales. "Wanna hear about the time I chased a rabbit? Or the time Grug tried to outpace me? Spoiler alert, I won." But with each commingling feast came greater consequences. As the two became inseparable, wolves also began to learn some human traits. Next thing you know, dogs were giving Grug the classic puppy eyes. Those adorable, droopy-eyed stares have been finely tuned through generations. One woeful look, and Grug felt his lunch mysteriously floating away. But the fun doesn't stop there. The cooperative relationship also played a role in hunting techniques. Let's face it, Grug and his crew weren't the sharpest tools in the shed, especially when it came to strategy. This is why teaming up with wolves was a game changer. Those majestic beasts would work together in perfect harmony, scanning the area while planning ambush tactics. You think Grug was going to figure out how to corral bison? Nah, he was counting on his wolf buddies to lead the way. But here's the crazy part. Some researchers argue that this bond contributed significantly to the evolution of social behaviors in both species. The wolf packs exhibited teamwork, cooperation, and division of labor, lessons that humans gradually absorbed. Hey, Grug, if 15 wolves can work together to knock down a mammoth using strategy, maybe we can do the same with our hunting party. You better believe Grug was loving the idea of a group effort rather than his solo attempts. Then came the experimenting part of human-wolf camaraderie. Can you imagine dogs trying to communicate using barks? Well, early humans picked up on those cues too. So that bark means food. Got it. They learned to interpret their canine friends' communication styles. Over time, this led to a whole new world of friendlier interaction. Instead of just barking back, Buzz off, furball. Grug started bonding with his wolves through calling and commands, creating a sort of early dog language. But the gross-out moments kept happening. When those wolves feasted on Grug's trash pile, they got pretty creative. Some wolves enjoyed a good opportunistic snack. Imagine Grug trying to figure out what that mystery diet was. Though no, was that the last of the mammoth? Nope. That was the remains of a not-so-lucky hare. And now his loyal wolf friend was sporting a flavor explosion of mystery meat breath. And here's the kicker. As these wolves got friendly, they also became bolder. Some of them figured out they could sneak into Grug's camp and score some prime picks. Look, Grug, no one's around. Let's swipe the whole dinner while he's sleeping. Sneaky little thieves. This ultimately led to an interesting loop of dependence. The more Grug fed them, the more persuasive their antics became. You'll give me food if I just sit here and look cute, right? Oh yeah, and suddenly Grug is a sucker for puppy eyes. Now, throw in the quirks of different cultures around the world and, boy, did things get weird. Some tribes revered wolves, treating them as mystical creatures. They'd even compliment their hunting skills. You can bet Grug would have traded a mammoth tail to learn the ancient wolf songs of these powerful friendships. Let's honor our friends with a pack howl, and we'll show those saber-tooths who's boss. Meanwhile, in more pragmatic societies, wolves were a legitimate hunting resource. The relationship was efficient, like having a built-in alarm system. Historically, not everyone understood the beauty of the pack. Some cultures saw wolves as vicious beasts invoking fear and superstition. In fact, we're talking about serious repulsion. There were those who crafted rituals to ward off our furry fiends, complete with howling at the moon. But in connection with more curious communities, they were exchanging gifts, and no, not the gift wrap it and hope for the best kind. It was all about food scraps. But guess what? The archaeological evidence just keeps piling up. Everywhere archaeologists dig, they uncover remnants of wolves and dogs alongside human artifacts. In some ancient burial sites, they even found evidence that humans buried their dogs just like their relatives. How's that for loyalty? Sifting through dirt and finding treasured love stories. Pretty humbling, if you ask Grug. And now, let's talk about some modern-day consequences of this ancient game of bio-catch and fetch. Since some wolves absorb those familial sentiments, hundreds of thousands of years later, we have these blissfully clueless dorky dogs. They have weird quirks that make you scratch your head, like endlessly barking at mailmen or chasing their tails. So why do some of them wear cute sweaters? They're the result of thousands of years of cute, albeit odd, evolutionary tactics. Those early canines learned that humans could be playful. So now, we have those furballs begging for attention like they can't possibly survive without a belly rub. Next time you complain about stepping in a squishy doggy present or dealing with a curious pup's antics, just remember, genetically, Grug forgot lunch, and somewhere along the way, wolves evolved into these loyal, albeit goofy buddies with tons of personality. And the beautiful thing, this entire saga serves as a testament to survival and relationships. Who would have thought a simple act of sharing scraps could weave a tale that has lasted for millennia? So, rise up and celebrate that darling dog of yours. You're merely carrying forward the legacy of Grug and his furry friends. Stick around for more Grug-style explorations through our wild and hilarious human past. There's still a treasure trove of forgotten tales waiting to be uncovered. See you soon, and keep those tasty snacks close.